Good afternoon, Facebook family and friends and YouTube subscribers. It is January 4th, Sunday, January the 4th, 2015. It's about 9 o'clock in the evening. I'm here at home. This is the very first video of a wonderful year. We're going to claim it. We're going to say it and claim it. Wonderful year 2015. I'm going to do a video about a young woman who was transgender, who committed suicide this past Sunday, a week ago. He committed suicide because his family, his mother, particularly his mother and father, who were Christian, religious individuals, didn't understand his sexuality. Didn't understand what it meant for him to be transgender. Did not understand the situation taking place in their child's mind. They didn't understand that the child that they knew as Joshua was now going to be known as Leelah, and was had known since he was 4. Since she was 4 years of age, that she was a woman trapped in a man's body. Let me just read some of this stuff to you. He left a suicide note too. Transgender 17-year-old who also identified as gay killed herself Sunday, leaving behind a suicide note that begged for her death to mean something, serving as a call to action for support and acceptance of trans kids. Leelah Alcorn, born Joshua, was struck by a tractor trailer on Interstate 71 just before 2:30 a.m. on Sunday in the Cincinnati, Ohio suburb. The Cincinnati Enquirer reported she had walked 4 miles from her home in Kings Mill, Ohio, and they believe the teenager committed suicide, jumped in front of a truck. Then on Monday, a blog post entitled "Suicide Note" appeared on Leelah Alcorn's Tumblr account, and she left a suicide note for the family. She detailed her depression, alienation, and feelings of hopelessness. She complained of a lack of support and love from friends and family, just my parents' disappointment, and the cruelty of loneliness. Alcorn's mother forced her to attend Christian therapy. Can you imagine that? Forced her to attend Christian therapy, the 17-year-old wrote in a letter, and therapists telling her she was selfish and wrong and should look to God for help. The family then took her out of public school and sent her to a private one. So her parents took him away from his friends and support to send him to a Christian private school, thinking this was going to change the situation. I'm going to read the suicide note. This saddens me, and I'm going to go into my reasons why. If you are reading this was the suicide note Leelah left for her parents. If you're reading this, then that means I have committed suicide and obviously failed to delete this post from my queue. Please don't be sad. It's for the better. The life I would have lived isn't worth living in because I'm transgender. I can go into detail explaining why I feel that way, but this note is probably going to be lengthy enough as it is. To put it simply, I feel like a girl trapped in a boy's body, and I've felt that way ever since I was 4. I never knew there was a word for that feeling, nor is it possible for a boy to become a girl. So I never told anyone. I just continued to do traditionally boyish things to try to fit in. When I was 14, I learned what transgender meant and cried of happiness. After 10 years of confusion, I finally understood who I was. I immediately told my mom, and she acted extremely negatively, telling me that it was a phase, and I would never truly be a girl, that God doesn't make mistakes, that I am wrong. If you are reading these, parents, please don't tell this to your kids. Even if you are a Christian or against transgender people, don't ever say that to someone, especially your kid. That won't do anything to make them hate themselves. And that's exactly what it did to me. My mom started taking me to a therapist, but only take me to a Christian therapist, who were all very biased. So I never actually got the therapy I needed to cure me of my depression. Only got more Christians telling me that I was selfish and wrong and I should only look to God for help. When I was 16, I realized my parents would never come around. Now I'd have to wait until I was 18 to have any sort of transitioning treatment, which absolutely broke my heart. The longer you wait, the harder it is to transition. I felt hopeless, that I wasn't going to look like a man in drag for the rest of my life. That he felt hopeless that I was going to look like a man in drag for the rest of my life. On my 16th birthday, when I didn't receive consent from my parents to start a transition, I cried myself to sleep. I formed sort of a fuck you attitude towards my parents and came out as gay at school, thinking that maybe if I eased into coming out as trans, it would be less of a shock. Although the reaction from my friends were positive, my parents were pissed. They felt that I was attacking their image and I was an embarrassment to them. They wanted me to be their perfect little straight Christian boy, and that was obviously not what I wanted. There's more to that note to read. I'm going to tell you why this saddens me. I'm 44 years of age. I'll be 45 this year. I was born in 1970. I knew I was gay when I was 4 or 5 years old in preschool. I knew. Didn't know what it was, but I knew I was different from everyone else. So for over 40 years, I've been dealing with my sexuality. And let me just state this from my own perspective. I'm 6'2", 289 pounds. And it isn't easy for me to walk around always as a proud black gay man. It's a very difficult life. Nothing that I would have ever have chosen for myself. But I've accepted this journey that God put me on 44 years ago. I've accepted it years ago. Because I knew this could not be changed. I knew that who I am and other people like me, other gays, transgender, lesbian, or whatever you want to call them these days, I get confused. No one is choosing this path. This is my problem with the Christian religion or any religion. This young lady's, Leelah's parents made a mistake. And that mistake cost them their child's life. You never know, some Christians may feel that they might be happy and better off because their child has committed suicide, because they'd rather see their child dead than transition into a woman because it so embarrasses them because of their false Christian beliefs. I'll never understand how people can reach up to the sky and pray, scream, shout, love Jesus, but hate the person sitting right in front of you. You can pray and scream and shout to something you can't see, feel, touch, can't do nothing to. But you'll look at the person next to you and say, I hate you. That doesn't make sense to me. This young lady's parents had a choice. They could have accepted and embraced their child. But they chose a different path. A reckless, dangerous path. This is 2015, and we're still having this conversation about sexuality. We still don't understand it. God doesn't make mistakes. No, God didn't make a mistake. God made Leelah the way that God wanted Leelah to be made. Whatever takes place on planet Earth here, we're so caught up in this dream. So many people. I told my parents I was gay in the 4th grade. My mother refused to accept that. For my father, there was no issue with him because he knew. He knew. My mother was a Christian. She's always been caught up in this Christian religion mess. My father was not religiously affiliated at all, but he knew that his son was gay, and he was ready to accept that. I can imagine having grown up in a household with 2 Christian parents, ignorant as hell, having no clue what sexuality is, what transgender. They don't get it because they're too busy caught up in the dream. They're too busy caught up in the dream instead of living here on earth, dealing with reality, looking at their child sitting next to them. This angers me. Because this child should be alive and well. And then some people say, well, she was not allowed to do what she wanted to do in her parents' home. All those two parents had to do was love and accept that child. That's it. Love and accept and understand something that not try to change. This is something you cannot change. I've lost so many friends over the years to suicide. And it always angered me after the fact. But so many of these people came from homes where their mothers, the fathers, the brothers and sisters, they didn't have a support team. They didn't have family members who loved and accepted them. They didn't have a father willing to fight for them. They didn't have a mother willing to stand by their side. When you don't have your family in your corner, accepting and loving you for who you are, you're going to have a major problem. A major problem. And that's what angers me so much about these parents. Because they chose to go their own path. They chose to dream, to pray, to reach into the skies, and let God resolve this issue. All the while destroying the life of their child sitting right next to them. But they chose something that you can't see, feel, touch, doesn't exist, can't talk to. This is what they chose. This is why I despise religion. Because you're choosing something that it's not tangible. It's not like this bag of potatoes I got in my hand. These are potatoes. And good potatoes, too, kind of tasty. Idaho potatoes, little baby potatoes. These are potatoes. I can hold these potatoes. This is real. This isn't false. This isn't like this is a real bag of potatoes. But religion, it's false. It doesn't exist. It's nothing real, nothing tangible. Nothing that you can touch, see, feel, hear, smell, nothing. But faith. If I had a choice, if I were a parent, to choose my child over invisible faith, I choose my child every day. I choose my child for life versus a faith, a belief that I can't see, feel, touch, smell, talk to, listen to, an invisible force that doesn't exist. That's what it ain't. This is why this so angers me. My mother will tell you in a heartbeat she's a Christian. She's the most destructive woman I know in my entire life. She's destroyed her family. She's destroyed her marriage. She's destroyed her children. All because of her Christian beliefs. She's destroyed everything. Everything. Lost 2 daughters to death because they're calling the dream, but not living in reality. But you cannot tell her that. My mother will refuse to listen to that. She'll pray all day and night long instead of getting up and doing what needs to be done. I look at my mother and it's sad. I love her, but it's just very sad to me. The type of life that this choice to pursue an invisible force being this faith, she's walked away from reality. Her religious beliefs have destroyed her marriage, her family, her relationship with her kids, her relatives, her brothers and sisters, my uncles and aunts. Nobody can deal with her because she's so caught up in this illusion. I deal with her because she's my mother, and I'm a strong individual I can tolerate some of her foolishness. But my sisters and everybody else, they don't deal with my mother. They can't deal with the foolishness. They can't deal with the nonsense. They can't deal with the dream that she has. Leelah's parents had a dream. And that reckless dream, that reckless belief led to their child's death. Now they have to live with this. I can imagine creating an environment so miserable in my home that my own child commits suicide to get away from me and my religious beliefs. I can imagine it. I couldn't. Like I said, this video angers me, and it's a lot longer than what I wanted. But it's sad that that child's life, so young, she was only 16, 17 years of age. As I've said, I'm 44. I'll be 45 in just a few weeks. This has not been an easy journey. It's been a rough ride, but I've made the best of it, the best I could under the circumstances. In fact, I've learned to thrive, accept who I am, and love life. Anyway, our heart goes out to this young lady, Leelah, and I'm sorry that your life was cut so short because of foolish decisions by your parents. I hope that other parents don't make this same mistake. Choose your child. Choose the person sitting in front of you. Choose the person right there in your room that you can talk to, that talks back to you. Not this place, not this false fake mess up in the sky someplace or wherever it is that don't respond and you can't touch, see, feel, touch, talk to, nothing. Don't put your child or family member's life or your family over religion, religious beliefs. I can't stand it because it's destructive and dangerous. I don't care what religion it is. Anyway, I'm out of here. This video is too much longer than what I wanted. I went so many different directions. Anyway, if you like my videos, please click like. Share them with family members and friends. I hate to start 2015 off with such a depressing subject matter, but I really felt I wanted to discuss this situation. I hope that we can I hope something positive can come out of this for other transgender youth who are living in homes with parents who don't understand, who need to get out and understand and research and read something and get an understanding of why their child is transgender or gay. There's so much research out there, so much stuff available, but you got to go seek it. You can't change sexuality. You will not be praying the gay away. It's here to stay. People are born gay. You have to accept that. That's another video, and I've did numerous times. If you like my videos, please click like, share them with family members and friends, guys, ladies and gentlemen, people watching my videos. Please, life is too short to be miserable. Whatever you do in 2015 or 2016, whatever many more years you have on this earth, do your life, make your life enjoyable, whatever it costs, whatever you have to do. Don't live in misery. Don't allow yourself to be miserable at somebody else's expense. Don't allow someone to destroy you and destroy your life. And don't allow religion to destroy your life. My mother, like I said, she's the most destructive woman I know. She's allowed her Christian religious belief has caused so much damage in my immediate family that I've stepped back, and I've known this since I was a child. Anyway, I'm out of here. Enjoy the rest of your night. Let's have a great and prosperous 2015.